So today I'm going to talk about Russian steam bath called Banya. The whole Banya thing and steam baths is known since ancient times, and steam baths were popular in ancient Egypt, Greece, India, Japan, and other countries, and each country bring a new flavor to this tradition. So Russian Banya is also definitely special and worth talking about. And Russian baths used to surprise most foreigners since ancient times. They were particularly struck by the excessive heat inside the Banya and how Russians could take a break from it jumping into an ice-cold water or snow. And also Russians smack each other with a bath broom inside the Banya. And despite the fact that this tradition is several centuries old in Russia, the Banya is popular even today. And you can find banyas in large cities, small towns, and many Russians have a summer house called dacha outside of the city where they spend weekends, grow vegetables, and just relax. And most often you will see personal banyas built near those houses. Russian banya and Finnish sauna have common roots, and it came to Russian territory around 11th century. In ancient times, people believed in healing and cleansing power of baths, and bath was considered the best way to overcome illness or evil eye. And over time, the proposal to bath in banya became a sign of hospitality. Bath was necessary before wedding and was connected to many other ceremonies as well. In old days, Russians went to banya once a week on Saturday, therefore many places were closed down. Families bathed together, both men and women, and while in 15th, 17th centuries men and women bathing together was a common phenomenon in Europe, foreigners were always amazed by shameless behavior Russians demonstrated in banyas. And Empress Anna Ioannovna first tried to change that, but only Katerina the Great was able to force men and women to bath separately in 1743. Which actually saved the banya tradition in Russia, while European baths, they were mostly closed down due to sexually transmitted diseases. Well, enough of this boring history, let's talk about actual Russian banyas. So there are three main types of Russian banya: black, white, and in a Russian stove. So typically banya has a fireplace which is used to heat up stones, and so the stones can keep the heat, and also you can use them to produce steam. And black and white banyas are essentially the same, except that black banya doesn't have a chimney, so the smoke coming from the fire is let out through the entrance door or through a ceiling, hole in a ceiling, and due to the smoke your eyes can get irritated and the air will taste bitter. But the air also has a sanitizing effect, and also, as you can guess, smoke eventually turns the walls black. And when the heat is good enough, the smoke is removed and the hole or the door is shut, and after that you pour water on the hot stones to produce steam, which helps to remove dirt and clean the skin pores. And at this time you can also use a special bath broom called venik. It is made of birch or oak trees branches, and normally you have a bath partner to smack you with it, or a specially assigned person called banshik in public bath. So after this hot part of the experience comes bathing in cold water. And when it's winter, you can actually get outside for a few minutes and jump into the snow. And also you can repeat these steps a few times. So white banya, there are still benches to sit on, stones for the steam, but there is a chimney this time, so you won't have to breathe the smoke, and your eyes will not be irritated. And this is a modern type, and most banyas are made this way, and some people even use electric stoves, and black banyas are quite rare now. So this is the general information on typical banyas. However, there is a third type which is quite specific, and it's a banya inside of a Russian stove. How can you even wash yourself in a stove, right? Well, Russian stove was very big and was always the center of the house, and people used it as a house heater. They slept on it, they dried their clothes on it, mushrooms, herbs, well, they dried everything, they cooked in it, and they bathed in it as well. And therefore Russian stove was assigned healing and sanctifying powers. And due to the construction, there's no way you can get burned, and the stove was so big that 2 adults could fit inside. So as for bathing, at first people would warm up water in big cast iron pots, and they would clean the insides of the stove from ash and lay straw. And while the stove is still hot, you can get inside the stove and wash yourself from the pots with water using a bath broom. So where does this attraction to banya come from? Well, many people like temperature contrast, which can almost be addictive, and you may consider it as an extreme sport, okay? So Russians used to say, who doesn't like high speed? And this could be one of those activities that causes a pleasant, almost addictive stress, and it's generally good for health as well, and it improves metabolism. But please consult your doctor before you go to banya, especially if you have high blood pressure. Russian banya is also a place for communication. Friends go to banya together, and it is considered that banya's atmosphere allows people to communicate and interact on a more common level. And in a dressing room, предбанник, people take a break from the hot temperature and relax, drink tea, talk about life. And it's also common that men turn banya sessions into drinking parties, so be aware of that. And banya is also a big part of the national culture. It's often referenced in literature and folklore, and there are also dozens of banya-related sayings and proverbs. For example, поддать жару, literally increase the heat steam for somebody, which means make the situation more difficult for somebody. Or another one, прилип как банный лист, sticky as a banya leaf, and you say it about annoying people. And one more, go to the banya, or иди в баню. This is a popular curse equivalent of get out of my eyes already, though technically it sounds a little kinder. And so on, there are many more, you can check them online. And after banya, Russians usually say с легким паром, which means enjoy your bath, or literally have a light steam, or light steam. And in ancient times, banya was not only a place for washing and socializing, but for marriage, childbirth, and various mystical rituals. So just remember that it still has an important place in life of every Russian. And I wish all of you light steam, and hope this short video was informative for you, and thank you for watching.